Hi, hello, welcome to today's coffee chat. Well, it's pretty obvious that I am not in my kitchen today. Today I'm over in the North Shore, North Vancouver, and I'm visiting Jess here and wanted to connect with her. Jess and I go back a long way. We wanted to have a little coffee together and ask her some questions that I know that she's got a lot going on in life and that you can share some great tips and strategies for everybody today. Because your life has changed a lot and yet you're still being able to make it happen to eat well. So that's what we've got on our minds today. When you're busy, she's a busy new mom, what the heck she's going to get up to. So Jess and I, well, we go back a long ways to
my internship time when I was a little pipsqueak, just trying to get my dietetics degree.
There you go. She was my little student back in the day, and we had a first project where I encouraged you to get on video on social media.
She did, and my 1 week elective during internship turned into a 6-month project to create 9 videos for the Dietitians of Canada, which I did and crushed it.
There you go.
Thank you for the little encouragement nudge, and my entire summer it was worth it.
Little overachiever, what can we say? You know, birds of a feather, I guess. But I know that, I mean, we were just talking that your little guy is now how old?
14 months.
14 months.
Yeah.
And you're an entrepreneur, you're starting your practice, and I know that your partner, he's an entrepreneur. So how the heck, as a dietitian, as a foodie, with that crazy life, how are you actually making real food happen? Like, share some practical tips for folks.
I will, because this is my most favorite topic, honestly. There's so much science behind nutrition, but my favorite topic is literally how to put a meal in your belly that's just gonna be fast, delicious, and healthy. And it seems so out of reach. Like, we see all these gorgeous Instagram photos of, like, you know, this plate with like every single pea is in order and like the shadow and light is amazing.
I mean, like, your photos on Instagram are stunning.
They're not bad, but I have a good camera and, you know, I mean, it takes time to take those photos, right? But in real life, we know that meals can look a little more rustic, and that's okay.
I love that rustic.
Rustic plating, aka a sloppy mess, but it tastes delicious.
You got it on the plate. Good job, Mom.
It's on the plate, it's in the baby, and we're off to the races. So yeah, like, honestly, I think the #1 thing to keep in mind is it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, why are we shooting for this crazy perfect ideal? We should not be. We should just be taking like a minute or two just to kind of envision the week that we have ahead. This is what I do. So like every Sunday I envision what's happening for the week. If you're a shift worker or a nurse or whatever, just pick the last day that you have off and envision what's happening with all the rest of your shifts, for example. So say you don't work shift work, you're Monday to Friday, say it's Sunday, just take literally 1 hour to go, okay, I have like a really busy day Wednesday. I'm gonna go right from work to drive someone to soccer practice, and then the husband has a hockey game, so literally I'm gonna have no help, and then blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
like,
Wednesday's a nightmare, in other words.
Yeah, we know it's looking toit. It's looking toit. So when you see a day like that, you need to know that it's gonna be just an ace up your sleeve if you have like a plan, like just a loose sort of roadmap of your week. So for example, if you know that Wednesday is your nuts night, then you're gonna probably wanna break out maybe your slow cooker, plug it in the morning, put the delicious makings of a stew in there, and just let it rock on low for 8 hours. You get home, you walk in the door, your place smells amazing, and dinner is on the table, like lickety split.
Yeah, love that. I'm also a big fan of leftovers, like planned leftovers. Like maybe on Sunday, that day that you're doing the planning, you also have a little more time to cook. Yes. So you cook enough for like 2 meals so that you're just warming it up on Wednesday.
True. And if you're the type of person like my husband who cannot stand leftovers, bless his heart, then I actually make a plan for the next day I use the leftovers and use them in a different format. So say we have tacos on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I literally take all the taco fixins and I put them in a quesadilla shell and then griddle it. Or I make a taco salad. Like, I do something with similar ingredients, but he doesn't know that it's the same meal. And then, you know, he does. He sounds silly. Yeah. But yeah, like, it's just a great way to freshen things up, especially if maybe you're single and, you know, you don't have like the desire to eat the same thing 3 days in a row. I get you. I used to be there, and the third night when you have the same thing, it kind of just takes the air out of your tires. So
well, that's when you put it in the freezer.
Yeah, that too.
And you pull something else out for the Crazy Wednesday from last week's extra big cook.
That is another tip. Yeah, absolutely. Freeze a meal. Put a label on it. Put a date on it, because anything longer than a month in your freezer, it's just not going to be tasting the same.
Well,
right?
but it's still safe to eat. It's fine. But it's worse when you're like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, it looks like a freezer burn block of, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to enjoy our food, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, other tips. Sheet pan meals. I'm sure everyone's heard of the good old sheet pan meal. There's so many sheet pan meals out there that are healthy and delicious. Literally, your starch, if you have one, your vegetable, and your, say, chicken, for example, all in one pan. You throw it in. So like, if you can, say on Sunday, like dice up a few vegetables for that sheet pan meal, like you're already a step ahead of the game.
Yeah, and when I'm putting whenever I'm turning on the oven, I always fill that oven, right? So if the sheet pan takes up one shelf, I always will do extra root vegetables or something else to fill up that other shelf as well.
That's a very smart point. I should do that too. See, we learn from each other. We learn.
There you go. That's why we have these conversations.
Totally. So yeah, you can do some overnight cooking too. So overnight cooking meaning like you put some oats in a jar and then you have overnight oats the next day. So Google tons of overnight oat recipes or chia pudding recipes.
Yeah. Some on my website for sure. I love a chia pudding, and pretty much I would say 75% of my mornings are an overnight oats.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Love
Cool.
it.
Yeah, or on that Sunday, for example, you literally take a dozen eggs and a half a cup or a cup of diced vegetables, salt and pepper and cheese. You throw them in some egg tins or muffin tins, you bake them, and then there you have egg-like muffins on the go to top on toast or just to pop whenever you're hungry for like the next 4 days.
Yeah. I love something like that also as a snack option too. Often we think of something like those, I call them mini egg frittatas, like the muffin tin frittatas.
Yeah.
They go by many different names, but we get stuff that like has to be a breakfast food, but it's like that could be a great afternoon snack too.
Totally. Anything with protein. And if you don't even get that fancy, you just hard boil maybe 10 eggs or so on a Sunday. And boom, there you have it. I've also done the hard boil of the egg and then make 4 of those eggs for an egg salad sandwich, for example. Again, like it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be satisfying.
Yeah.
And there you go. Like just relax. Everything doesn't have to look perfect or be perfect.
Yeah, why can't an egg salad sandwich and some raw veggies be dinner?
Yes, absolutely. That's another one. Dice up your carrots and your celery and your... portion out some washed produce and grape tomatoes, and then you have your veggies ready to go. So for example, if you're like on the road a lot, you're gonna need something that you can just pop instead of sitting down in your car with a knife and a fork, cutting up a steak. That's gonna be a little awkward. So yeah, easy handheld foods if you really are on the go kind of person. But it's totally possible to eat healthy on the go.
It is, and I'm a big fan. I noticed that in the grocery stores now they have more and more of the pre-washed, pre-cut up veggies. And so even if you're out and about and you're kind of caught out, like, oh crap, I'm in between, like I'm running around and I didn't pack enough snack or enough lunch or something, popping into the grocery store and doing a quick trip in the produce section can often be the easiest way to grab something. You can go to the bulk food section, grab a handful of nuts, go to the produce section, get some cut up veggies, or as you said, the cherry tomatoes, whatever, and that's a great like snack on the run.
Absolutely. And actually, I was going to say avoid going into Starbucks and getting your like 3 million packets of sugar caramel macchiato, but again, we know that all foods fit, and it's just when you're caught out hungry and you go into a Starbucks, making a healthier choice might be a little more difficult.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
But there are still some healthy choices. Someone posted on Facebook the other day of some Power Bowl they got at Starbucks, and I was like, or some bowl-looking thing. It looked good and it looked healthy, and I was like, oh,
the protein packs are pretty good. And often, again, not getting stuck in breakfast foods have to be at breakfast. The oatmeal at the coffee shops are often a good choice no matter what time of day. That's a great tip for also if you're traveling and you're in an airport. Often the oatmeal at the coffee shop will be a great choice.
That's good, yeah. Or Parfaits, but just watch out for all the added sugars in the yogurt.
Sugary yogurts.
If they're plain yogurt, like that's great. Fill your boots.
That's
awesome.
hard to find though.
It is hard to find. Unsweetened yogurt, like it's a thing. Put fruit on it. Maybe a little dash of maple syrup if you want a little sweet. Well, that's another idea. Overnight parfaits. So even if you don't have fresh fruit, pull some blueberries from the freezer, put it on the bottom of your mason jar, plain yogurt on top, a little bit of container of like maybe pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds to top it for a little bit of crunch later, and by the next morning the fruit is thawed and you're off to the races again.
I love that.
I'm saying off to the races a lot.
Apparently it's on your horses are on your mind.
Apparently I need to go get some money on the ponies or something, yeah.
Well, and you can even do like an overnight oats or the parfait and that with the canned pumpkin and like the cinnamon and stuff, and it's like a pumpkin spice thing for a little October action. It's good.
Awesome. I do have also a carrot spice, if you're not a fan of pumpkin, muffin up on my Instagram. It's coming up soon.
Oh, good. Okay, it'll be up by the time that we have a chance to put this video up. Nice. Hopefully. Says tired mom. That's the plan.
That is the plan.
Well, if it's not up by the time this is in, head back to her website and double check again because it'll be coming.
It'll come. It'll get there eventually. Again, we're not going to rush it. No pressure.
Yeah. Again, not getting fixated on perfection, I think is a great message.
Totally. Even as dietitians, we're always thought of as like the food police. I was at like a celebration the other night, and 4 of us dietitians were the first ones into the dessert table, even before dinner was served, and people were like, "Oh, but you're dietitians." It's like, yeah, but we're also very hungry, and we're not gonna, put foods, like Kristen said, there's never a bad time for breakfast, or breakfast throughout the day is fine. Like, if you're hungry, eat something. Like, obviously we want to show up at a party starving and then go right for the, honey dip donuts, which we totally did, and I totally was hungry, but again, I'm not going to put any guilt or shame on myself because those are delicious.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to see the inside scoop on a potluck by dietitians, there's always a ton of vegetables and salads and a ton of chocolate.
Yep. Ton of chocolate, that's for sure.
It's the way it is.
It is.
Any other final tips for folks, like the practical? I know that you haven't mentioned something that I know is close to your heart.
Oh, do tell.
Your slow cooker.
Oh, yeah. How? I'm normally obsessed with my slow cooker.
It's been a few minutes since you mentioned your slow cooker. How has that happened?
So, my slow cooker. So, yeah. Well, no, I did. On the Wednesday, you throw your slow cooker in and you have a stew. I told you.
You've mentioned it so often that I'm not even taking it in anymore.
I don't blame you. I kind of shut down when people repeat themselves, too. I'm like, yes, Anyways, yeah, use your slow cooker. I mean, it feels like you're back in, like, the 70s, like, pulling that thing out. It's like 100 pounds and you're like, oh my gosh.
Or the modern Instapot now.
True.
It's really the modern version of.
Yeah. But yeah, use those tools, like kitchen tools, to your advantage. I saw Kristen posted a while ago on how to make a quick coleslaw in your food processor, and that was a great tip. So yeah, bring out your food processor, put a can of salmon, some fresh herbs, a little bit of lemon, a little Dijon, a little bit of breadcrumb, a little egg, whip them up, make them into patties, boom, salmon cakes. Like, super cheap, super easy. You don't have to worry about having any thawed or fresh protein in the fridge. Open your pantry. That was another, there's another tip. Plan meals around your pantry foods first. Yeah. When we're like, oh, what's for dinner? The first thing we open, the fridge or freezer, right? How about we try to open the pantry first? Like, it's like an untapped resource, like dry storage.
You've already spent the money on that.
Yeah.
And to tell the truth, the salmon run is not expected to be very good this year. Like, there's some pretty big worries about salmon returns this year. So the canned salmon is actually wild salmon. So canned salmon is going to be a good choice.
And especially if it's pink salmon for a fish cake, honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of salmon it is for a fish cake because you're putting so many other ingredients in it. And pink salmon is the most sustainable of our Pacific species. By the way, I used to work in salmon science.
There you go.
My former life in a windowless lab, but before I realized I need interaction with people.
There you go. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me over at your space today, making me a coffee, and sharing some tips on, practical realities of making healthy food happen when you're a busy mom and work is crazy.
Thanks for having me.
And so where can people find you?
I am on Instagram and Facebook at Jess Nourishes or jessnourishes.com.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I really look forward to connecting with you, keeping in touch over the social media.
Too.
And next time I'm over here in Vancouver, we'll catch each other. Oh, so sweet. Have a great week, everybody there. I didn't even mention yet, but I always post a video every Thursday morning, and I want to make sure that you know you're invited to come and join us for a cup of coffee and talk food and nutrition. So click the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell, so that you never miss that invitation, you never miss a video. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next Thursday morning.
Bye.